Hey there, Matt from Wetham Solutions here, and today we're going to talk about something that has been a serious problem in 2012. This year we've seen an unprecedented concentration of email accounts being hacked into and exploited for spam, viruses, and other malware. Now this has always been an issue, but it seems that there's an ever-increasing amount of hacks happening this year. So in this clip, I'm going to discuss some measures that you can take to prevent this from happening to you. Now first of all, what happens when an email account is hacked into? I'm sure that you've seen an example of an exploited account. Perhaps one of your family members or your friends has appeared to send you an email, either asking you to check out an interesting link or to send money because they're stranded in Singapore. These emails are the result of an account being hacked and exploited. So what happens is a hacker will gain access to an email account, and then they have the contact list on that email account, so they send an email to every single contact on the address book. So the first thing that you can do to ensure that this doesn't happen to you is ensure that you have an antivirus system that has a current virus definitions database. So for example, what I mean by this is if you just have an expired version of McAfee or Kaspersky because your computer came with a 3-month subscription when you bought it, that's not sufficient. Make sure that you always have a current version of a virus scanning software. If you don't have one, you can even get a copy of one for free for personal use from AVG. Number 2. Change your password every 3 months. One of the methods that hackers use to gain access to an account is it's called a brute force attack. And this is where a computer will sequentially try various passwords over and over until it finally gains access. Now, while the large companies have really good software that can detect when this is happening, it isn't perfect. And for this reason, changing your password makes it a moving target for anyone trying to hack your email account. When you select your password, be sure to use a high security password including at least one uppercase letter, one number, one lowercase letter, and a special character. Now a special character is like a $sign or a %sign, etc. The third thing that you can do is enable extra security measures. For example, Google has the ability to enable a mobile phone that sends you a text verification code. You can enable a 2-step authentication process that goes as such. You enter your username and password first, then Google sends you a text message to your cell phone with a code that verifies your login. When you get that message, you enter the code and now you have logged in successfully. Now you can enable this 2-step process, but what you can do is set it to recognize your home computer so that it doesn't require the second step whenever you're at home. This is very beneficial for security as it almost eliminates the chance of a hack altogether, and I would highly recommend using this for Gmail, YouTube, Google+, or any other account that is associated with Google. Other providers such as Yahoo or MSN may have similar security measures. Just use them wherever possible. The fourth thing you can do is change your security questions at least once per year. Most people will set up their account, set the security questions, and then never change them. Some security questions are very low quality, and these days with social media being as widely used as it is, a security question such as what is your spouse's name is not secure enough. Make the question something that only you know the answer to. Subjective answers such as your favorite book or your favorite restaurant are great questions because you can change the answers to whatever your current favorite is, making it a moving target, and favorites often change with time. So that's why subjective questions are great. The fifth thing that you can do is always check the URL or the address bar up in the top when you're accessing not only your email account but also any kind of social media account or an online banking account, because one of the ways that hackers exploit people is by creating what's called a clone site, where they will copy a login page for Gmail or TD Bank, for example, and then they replicate that login page so that no one's the wiser. It looks like you're just logging into TD, for example. But these clone sites are on the hackers' websites, and then victims will enter their banking information, which is then submitted to the hacker's website. Then the hacker gets the login and password, and then they can exploit that account. The one thing that hackers can't replicate, though, is the URL and the address bar. So if you're going to Gmail, make sure that the domain is google.com. If you're going to Royal Bank, make sure that the domain name has royalbank.com up in the top address bar. Now, in addition to that, be sure that there is a slash immediately following the .com. Sometimes they can fake it by making the address something like www.royalbank.com.cz.ru/login. But really the domain in this case would be cz.ru. So be extra careful and check the address bar whenever you log in. The sixth thing you can do is minimize the amount that you use other people's computers. You don't know what kind of security measures are taken on other people's computers, so minimizing the amount that you use them will also minimize your risk of email exploitation and identity theft. That's it for today. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please pass it on to a friend or family member so that it can help them in preventing their email from being exploited as well. If you'd like to subscribe, click the subscribe button in the top corner on YouTube or enter your email in the column above, on the right column above, and you'll get an email notification every time we post a new video. Thanks again.